So this is the fan shroud laying on the driveway, and that gray material there is just something for kneeling on. You can see just around the area where the ignition coil attaches, those two holes, you can see there's a dent, and the object of this exercise is to remove that dent. So let's get at it. So we're just setting up the press. This is just a car sitting on a metal ramp, and you'll see in the next couple of slides how this is going to work. Here's a picture of the shroud laying on the ground, just in position underneath the ramp. You can get an idea how this is going to work. Here's a close-up then of the ramp and the piece of wood to distribute the force. Piece of the red there is a chunk of 1/4-inch plate, and then you see the piece of angle iron that's actually inserted inside the fan shroud, and you'll see how that fits in the next photo. Here's a better close-up of the relationship between the angle iron, the piece of 1/4-inch flat plate steel, and the piece of wood. You can see the angle iron is inside the shroud, and the idea then is to press up against that and use the weight of the car to counter the pressing force. So then those of you who are asking how are we going to push up on that angle iron, here's the answer. It's a piece of 8-inch 2-inch pipe, fits nicely inside the angle iron, and using the piece of 2x3 as a fulcrum, we were able to lever up against the fan shroud, the dented area, and with the car pushing down and pushing up with the pole, the basic bulge of the dent was pushed back into place. So that little effort was used to remove the major part of the dent, and then because of the way the nuts were welded into the shroud, I required some little finer work, and for that I used a piece of 3/4 by 1/2 inch bar stock that I had laying around, and you could use a piece of wood or a piece of pipe or a piece of or a breaker bar or something like that. You can get the idea here. Simply insert the bar inside the shroud, and of course the car isn't in this picture, but I was pushing up against that ramp just as it was with the piece of pipe, and you can see how the majority of the dents came out. Now some more work is going to be required on that dent because it's still not perfect. I did bang away at it a little bit with a hammer, but I'm going to go at it with some auto body dollies and hammers to see what I can, how much more smooth I can make that. I shot a coat of paint over it, and it looks actually pretty good, but I do want to do a little better job, mostly just for practice. So while you're watching these folks have this lovely picnic, I'm getting myself organized for the finer handwork. I mentioned that I used some spray paint primer, gray primer, Tremclad gray primer, just to coat it to see how it looks with some paint on it, and actually looks pretty good. And in this next picture, which is a little closer up, you can see there's still a few marks there from that bar stock that I was using, but not too bad.